Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Haley, and I am going to show you guys how I made some of my DIY dashboards. Now here, I'm just showing the items that I used to make them. It was scissors, a random hole puncher I had, double-sided tape or glue, with some computer paper, pen and pencil, and a template for my dashboards, as well as the pictures I'm going to be using or did use to make my dashboards. They came from an old 2024 calendar. So here I am just tracing the outline of my template. This is to set up the backing for each of the dashboards. The size is going to vary depending on whether or not you're making a dashboard or an envelope insert, but I just cut them big so that when I cut the photo, I can cut it down to the size that I desire. So I repeated this cutting process to make multiple different backings. And here I'm explaining that I used one template and honestly traced that one over photos. But again, the size is going to vary depending on whether or not you want to hole punch a dashboard or make an envelope insert. So here what I'm doing is measuring the part of the photo that I'd like and what I would like to fit onto my dashboard or insert. So I overlay the paper template I made and just trace it with a pen so that it will show all the way around the image I would like to include on the dashboard and or insert. Now after I've traced all of that, I'm just going to cut it out. Again, I cut outside of the lines that I traced just to give myself some wiggle room in the case I need to trim it down for an envelope or I need to leave the sidings for hole punching for a dashboard. And then once I finish cutting, I basically line up the backing and mark the edges where they stop on the back of the photo. And I grab the two-sided tape, put a strip down the middle, and tape the physical paper to my picture for my quote-unquote dashboard. In this scenario, you guys may or may not want to use tape. You may choose to use glue. I just happen to have two-sided tape and ran out of glue at the same time. So ideally, you probably want to use glue for this. But I just used what I had. So just a forewarning, I also don't have a straight edge cutter, so I am eyeballing all of this. My edges are not going to be straight, and that's perfectly fine, so long as they fit as a dashboard and or an insert. I was not too concerned about that very much. But I did turn over the photo and made sure I didn't have any pen marks left on the front. And in this case, the picture is already trimmed down to size how I want it this way, as well as the backing will be trimmed down to the size I want as well. You can use different color paper, construction paper. I just used the computer paper that I had available. Now here comes the tricky part for me. I do have a single handheld hole puncher, but I couldn't find it while I was making this video. But here's the final product. Again, I decided to cut the flowers down into an insert using an envelope to basically line up the edges and trim down gradually until I got to the size that I wanted. In the case of making a dashboard, you can just line up the hole puncher. If you don't have an A6 hole puncher, use a single hand hole puncher. And I just lined up using the ruler lines in order to make 3 holes on the top and 3 holes on the bottom. And here are the final products. That's an example of a hole punched one. These are example of inserts and envelopes I've made. And these are the ones you'll see within my binders. Thank you guys for watching.